Thanks for joining us on the Early Wedge. I'm joined by Jason Sobel. And Jason, we got to talk about Caves Valley. We got to talk about the BMW Championship. At this point, it narrows down to 50 as opposed to 70. And then, of course, at the Tour Championship, that's going to narrow to 30. So we're always going to keep our eyes on the FedEx Cup playoff standings for the next couple of weeks here. But talk to me about Caves Valley. I mean, obviously, we're returning here. 2021, we played here. Patrick Cantlay beats Bryson DeChambeau in a playoff. This is a big course. It has been changed from a par 72 in 2021 to now a par 70. Two par fives are now par fours. 7,600 yard par 70. It looks to me, Jason, like we're certainly looking for some heavy hitters here.
Yeah, I'm looking for big hitters. Look, 4 years ago, it was wet out there, and they just tore this golf course up. What happens often on the PGA Tour is that when they go to a course as a one-off, they go to a course for the first time, and I'm not talking about major championships going to Oakmont or something like that. I'm talking about when they go to a golf course and they set it up. They set it up erring on the side of caution. Like, you never want to overly set it up. And I know it sounds easy. Like, we're watching on TV, we're like, man, this course is too easy. I can't believe they didn't set it up tougher. And they're like, man, if we'd set up a little tougher and the winds come in, like all of a sudden these guys are getting beaten down. They want guys to make birdies. They don't want 7 over par to be a winning score at a BMW Championship. Although I guess at Olympia Fields a few years ago, we got something close to that, at least low single digits under par. But they tore it up. I expect it to be set up a little more difficult, even if it's set up exactly the same. Going from a par 72 to a par 70. They were 27 under a few years ago. They're going to be 19 under instead based on the math. They can play it exactly the same, have the same total score, and everyone goes, 19 under. That wasn't so easy. And it's good. Like, it's the exact same thing, guys.
That's right.
Before the show, par is just a social construct, and it just doesn't matter. All of that said, I'm looking for big hitters this week. I mentioned Taylor Pendrith. I really like – How about 6 of the guys that were in the top 15 last time? I'm going to be on all these guys. Sergio Garcia, Dustin Johnson, Abraham Answer, John Rahm, Harold Varner, and Jason Kokrak. You like those guys?
Yeah, I think those guys have a real shot next week. Good call. Man, I miss some of those guys, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Whether you like them or not, there's some personalities in there. Okay, so by the way, just to be very particular, Josh is letting me know it's the 2nd and 12th holes that are par 4s instead of par 5s, just in case you're keeping score at home. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for watching us. Hit the like button if you could. Make sure you subscribe to the SportsLine YouTube channel and the Early Edge and Early Wedge podcast. That's the same podcast channel, by the way. Search Early Edge or Early Wedge. Find it, subscribe on Spotify and Apple. So obviously the par 70 versus par 72, that's not going to change any minds in terms of who you're taking. Let's talk about some players that you got your eye on. Taylor Pendrith would be a player down the board, Jason, that you like. Let's start talking about maybe some of the bigger names. Let's just keep Scotty out of it because we know everybody's going to like him. His odds are going to be extremely short. We got guys like Xander at the top who's, been okay, just like he's always been all year. He's been okay. I'm seeing signs, all of that stuff. Ludwig's having an okay tournament. Victor Hovland's always in that conversation. Talk to me about some of the bigger names that you might like next week.
The number is going to be tough for me to get to at a short one, especially not seeing a win at anywhere since last year's Open Championship, but anywhere on a PGA Tour event in a couple of years. But Xander's a guy that, look, I've said it a million times on this show, I've thought that something good's coming from Xander before the end of the season, or maybe it's the Ryder Cup. Like there's something. It's close. It's like getting there, and you can see it coming. Like there's one little part of his game that keeps holding him back, or one round in a given week that's keeping him from being in serious contention. But I do think something good's happened for Xander. And I mentioned Cantlay, and I know that's the easy one to go back to. The fact that he won here 4 years ago is going to make him a bit of a popular play, and quite frankly, probably make his number a little bit shorter than it should be, just because we don't have much else to go on. But I think Cantlay is pretty due to go out there and have a serious title contention as well.
What do you think about a guy? And by the way, just to update everybody on Xander, who hasn't completed his 4th round yet at the FedEx St. Jude at TPC Southwind. He's losing a little bit off the tee. He's losing a little bit with the putter. The approach play looks fine. And we know he's been kind of hit or miss off the tee, right? And we know he's been kind of dialed on approach for the most part since returning from injury earlier this year. What about a guy like Cameron Young, who is doing just fine this week. We'll see how his round 4 goes, but certainly seems to have the confidence. He never seems to have confidence. Certainly seems to have the game in order. Is he the type of guy maybe a little bit down the board that you'd like? And your comments on Ludwig or Victor Hovland?
Yeah, look, Cam's running hot right now. Obviously not playing his best golf this week, but still not bad whatsoever. It's funny, Tommy Fleetwood called TPC Southwind a first shot golf course yesterday. I don't think that the stats bear that out whatsoever. I get it. He's hitting a lot of fairways, and that certainly helped put him in position to hit good approach shots and make birdies, but I wouldn't call this one a first shot golf course. Next week, for as much as I can remember from 4 years ago, that is a first shot golf course. When Cantlay and Bryson are heading the leaderboard and you've got a bunch of really good drivers of the golf ball that are up there. Now, granted, it was playing long and wet and soft, and you could basically just mash it and essentially like just be in decent shape. The ball wasn't bouncing around. I'm interested to see how this golf course looks, assuming that there's less rain in the area. I mean, Sia, you're not too far from there. You probably give us a little weather report on what it's been like, but it can't be wetter and soggier than it was 4 years ago. That said, I still think that's going to be a first shot golf course, certainly more than TPC Southwind.
Yeah, and there hasn't been Josh is chiming in as well, our esteemed producer, who also lives in the same area I live in. Hasn't been a ton of rain. So we'll see. I mean, there's always the threat of rain leading up to the tournament. I haven't looked at the forecast, and certainly some of the storms and thunderstorms in the afternoon can be like heavy downpours, but we haven't seen that in a few weeks. So we'll see how that bears out. Anybody else? So, Victor Hovland and Ludwig will always have my interest. Guy like Chris Gotterup, who is, again, not having a great tournament, bouncing back a little bit in round 4. Somebody like that has my interest. Any thoughts with any of those guys, or maybe some sleepers who maybe aren't like the big hitters that you think could handle themselves well?
I mean, I'm basically going to go straight to the strokes gained off the tee stat and start working my way down to guys that I like. I'm probably not going to be on Rory. I don't know, like just karma's going to come bite Rory a little bit. I can't imagine that he's going to take a week off and go win the BMW, although it would kind of make sense. I mean, these guys are all playing a full week of golf in the heat in Memphis and long year, and they're tired. And Rory just kind of bounces away into town at Caves Valley. He's like, oh, cool. You guys tired from last week? I didn't play any golf. I took the week off. So that could certainly help him. Chris Gotterup, 7th strokes gained off the tee. Taylor Pendrith, 8th strokes gained off the tee. If he gets in, and that's a big if right now, Kurt Kitayama, 11th strokes gained off the tee. Ludwig is 12th. I mean, though, I'm kind of looking right there for all these guys. If we want to talk about, again, I know he's won twice on the PGA Tour, but if we want to talk about guys who don't win, starting to win golf tournaments, I'm not sure I'm there yet, but we can go from Young to Fleetwood to Corey Connors somewhere outside of the Valero Texas Open. Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure his wrist is as fully healed as he'd like to make us believe right now, but should be a good fit for that golf course as well.
Yeah, I think there's some really interesting names down the board that aren't like really outright potential names, but names we're certainly going to talk about on the DFS show at 7:00, like a Sam Stevens, for example. Jacob Bridgman has some interest for me. Sam Burns will have my interest as well. Josh, jump in here real quick and let us know who you like, if you don't mind, for the BMW Championship.
I don't have too many greetings, by the way. Nice to see you all. I don't have too many names to add there. I think long iron play, better driver than you might think. I think Spawn is a good look next week as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not especially popular, because we'll hear a lot about the par 4s that were par 5s, the 7,600 yards. When you go win at Oakmont, I'm pretty sure you can handle any big ballpark that they put in front of you, and he's playing well again this week. So I like him as well.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I like Bridgman, because of the long iron play. He's not necessarily as safe off the tee, but yeah, I certainly think that long iron play is going to come in handy. I think Spawn is a good look. But Josh, who do you think is actually going to win next week? I'm holding you to that. 5 days before the tournament starts? 4.5.
I suppose I'd be firmly in the loser category if I just say Scotty Scheffler, right?
That's a
no
good
fun.
call. I like that call, actually.
Well,
I hadn't mentioned him.
Yeah.
Well, we do a lot of betting.
I heard he's pretty good.
We do a lot of betting on the show. So, okay, Scotty, I like that answer. Now, pretend you're betting it, and you have to do the without Scotty market. Now, who do you like to win?
Without Scotty, if we can do without everybody, I think, or without like the big four or something, I think Goddard will be interesting next week. I think, this week is a weird tournament for him.
Yeah.
Just from I don't think it's a great course fit. I don't think it amplifies what he does best, and wouldn't be surprised if he just bounces right back and plays some really good golf. Yeah, I mean, on paper, really big place. With the rested Rory, seems like he should factor in. I think he's played some pretty stellar golf since the weird stretch after the Masters with the driver stuff. So I would not be surprised if he plays well. And Patrick Cantlay will finish like T9 and not make an important golf shot all week, but we'll cash the 700 grand he'll get for his top 10.
I will throw in, guys. Wyndham Clark currently right now 3 over through 3 holes at the FedEx St. Jude, which is a shame because it moves him from 49th projected to 56th on the standings. Means he won't get in next week. He's a guy that I probably would have liked if he was 3 under through 3 instead of 3 over through 3 right now. Wyndham Clark might be inside that top 50 and might have a chance next week.
Well, I'll tell you this. Speaking of Chris Goddard, who definitely will be playing next week and certainly probably the Tour Championship as well. If you're thinking, hey, Goddard had a bad tournament, it's true, except for round 4, because he's got 2 holes left. He's 5 under. He's got 7 birdies on the card, 2 bogeys. Chris Goddard, you're right, Josh, probably not the best course fit. Next week probably looks a lot better for him. The vibes are going to be relatively high with, I don't know how he's going to do the last 2 holes, but he's going to be maybe 5-6 under to finish his closing stretch at the FedEx St. Jude.
The other name I'll throw in there is a guy who his 2025 is going to be defined by how poor he was in major championships, especially in the back half of the year. And that's Ludwig, we're on like tournament 7 in a row, gaining both off the tee and an approach. He's a little Patrick Cantlay-ish from we all get all up in arms major championship week, rightfully so, because he's that good of a player, but he is hitting the cover off the golf ball right now. And outside of the Travelers in the US Open, I mean, he played pretty well at the Open and then is just kind of banking top 15 finishes on the PGA Tour. So he is, and it looks like, with a decent round today, he'll probably finish top 10 here. So I like him as well.
I like that a lot, Josh. And I will throw in the fact that I feel like the process of elimination is there's some separation right now where you're looking at some players, and yes, these guys are good enough that they find something on a range on a Tuesday morning and all of a sudden play back. But like, where is Justin Thomas right now? Just on a golf course where he's found success this week, absolutely showing nothing. Victor Hovland at a place that should fit his skill set, doing nothing this week. Colin Morikawa was up there for a couple of days and then shot 72 yesterday on a day when everybody was going under par. I mean, there's some separation and there's some easy guys to cross off your list unless you want to be completely contrarian. Maybe for DFS purposes, you're like, okay, I just want to get, in a 50-man field. There's not a lot of ways to get different. So I'm just going to take the guys who aren't playing well and see if I can get some leverage there. But in the betting markets, like I'm not touching those guys.
Yeah. I mean, Justin Thomas, I know, Josh, you like Justin Thomas a little bit this week, and you thought, okay, like it just sets up well for him, maybe not necessarily having to pull driver off the tee. Well, next week doesn't set up that well for him, does it?
No. And this week he is the putter has fallen off the face of the earth this week. 55th right now in strokes gained putting. He's going to lose strokes putting unless he has, he's made lots of birdies today. So yeah, he'll go and like shoot 30 on the back nine and his putting streak will continue, but he hasn't lost strokes on the green since Bay Hill, or like that's like 6 months ago, 5 months ago, and now he's doing it this week. But yeah, any place that you've got a first shot golf course, as Jason said, I'm good. Get me as far away from JT on a first shot golf course right now as I can get.
Yeah, and speaking of Ludwig, I will tell just to update everybody on the early wedge one and done, which had over 1,000 people in it. Maybe next season we'll have over 2,000. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. I was inside the top 10 for a few weeks. Now I'm like inside the top 60 and fading. And I've just, I have Hovland this week. Like I'm just, I'm not there anymore. But with that said, we're not doing the Tour Championship, right? It ends next week. I've got a bunch of good players left because I actually thought we were doing the Tour Championship because I'm an idiot. Like I have Cantlay left. I have Ludwig, but I'm going to use Ludwig next week and hope I can pop and maybe get back inside the top 25 or top 30 or something. So FYI, that's my one and done pick. Everybody.
I can't remember who I took, and I think it might have been Fleetwood, and it probably wasn't. And I'm just thinking right now, like, oh, cool. I've got Josh. Can you confirm or deny?
Nah, I can actually. Give me just a moment.
Okay. If it's Fleetwood, that's going to be, well, we don't know how that's going to end up.
I think it's Fleetwood. It's probably like,
You're right. Fleetwood. You've got Fleetwood. Sia went Victor. Patrick and I went with Patrick Cantlay. So potentially a decent payday if he has a good day today. And then EC went with Xander.
I honestly, as you know, I love Fleetwood this week, and I never do. I wish I hadn't used him because I'd be using him this week as well. Jason, go ahead.
So I've got more at stake today. This is just a fun little thing. I like those. I call them scratch-off tickets. I love sitting around on a Wednesday night. Just okay, all the work's done for the week. All the previews are over. We've done all our shows. We're gonna kick back and just make stupid bets that are never gonna cash. Except maybe they could. All right. Here's a 4-play parlay. I've got Grant Forrest to win on the DP World Tour. Winner. I've got Tommy Fleetwood to win on the PGA Tour.
Okay.
We'll see. Got John Rahm to win on Live.
I don't know what's going on Live.
2 back in 3rd place.
Interesting.
Burmester and Ballester. Oh, has this thing changed? You know what? At some point, Liv can put how many holes they have left on a thing because you can't tell.
Make it easy.
So it looks like they are through four holes today. Right, yeah, Dean.
Okay, yeah.
He is part of a tie, like a 3-4 way tie for 5th, but there are 4 guys at 1 shot ahead.
Yeah. So Rahm's 1 back with 4 holes into it, 5 holes. Rahm's 2 over for the day, by the way. Come on. In any case, John Rahm 1 back in this parlay, and Ernie Els, who is 4 back on PGA Tour champions. I have a feeling that's going to be the one that hurts me. Stuart Sink in the lead right now. Stephen Holker's up there. It's not like he's got easy guys to go catch, but if we can somehow put all those things together, I mean,
honestly, that ticket, I'm just assuming like $2 pays something in the order of like $12,000.
This was $1.13 for $15K.
Unbelievable. Sure. That would be the best ticket ever. Please, Ernie Els, chase down Stuart Sink.
And by the way, first of all, I do these all the time and they never hit. And it's fun for me. Like I'm going to take $50 in a week because I don't care. And I'm going to make 50 like $1 parlays and I might round robin them if I really like it, whatever. I'm having fun betting. Everyone out there wants to win money. And yes, we're all trying to let's have fun.
Listen,
that said, I don't know what else is, but this is not big money. And I also know that somehow if I ever win one of these and I post a screenshot and be like, oh, you're only betting $1. Like I want people out there to know, like, yes, I'm not putting $100 on a 4-way parlay for 4 guys to win at the beginning of the week. This is that would be stupid. I would be down a lot right now because I'm not.
Don't forget to have fun betting, especially when you're doing it for $1 here, $2 there. The entertainment value is sometimes what it's all about. So we like to win money, but we definitely like to have fun with all of this stuff that we do on the early wedge, the early edge, and so many other things. All right, well, we got I guess that's the quick rundown. I will tell you that we've got a lot of shows for the BMW Championship. Of course, tomorrow at 7 o'clock is DFS show with Mike McClure, probably Rick Gaiman on that one as well. That's an important show because we only have 50 players. So the game theory, how we play this is going to be really important. Mike McClure is always really good with that. We got the Best Bets show at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. And then, of course, the live chat on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. That's just the front end of the week. We got more to deliver on CBS Sports Network later in the week, particularly Friday at 1 o'clock. Then, of course, this show every Sunday at 10:30. That's going to cover our coverage, if you will, of the BMW Championship for now. Thanks for joining us for that.